great politicians seem to solve the issue of the day. And the ones we remember the most are ones that are transitional as the issue changes. I propose to you that Premier Klein was such a politician. When he first ran, he told it like it is. And it's a long time ago, but in 1980, in today's modern communication age, we might forget that there was a time where communication, listening, changing and hearing what the common man wanted was the issue that made him great, and he had that skill set. I am proposing that today's issue is we need governments that infringe on our freedom less, that respect our tax dollars and us as individual and our personal choices, and that they just go away and do what they're supposed to do the most efficient way possible. Rich Jones was with Ralph Klein on his first election, and later, at the end of the Premier's career, he ran the McDougall Centre in Calgary. Please listen to this interview.
So Rich, one of the things I've enjoyed about you over the years is that you share some history about what was needed in the trenches to get some of the change done that Albertans, wanted. And you go all the way back to Ralph's very first city election. But the one where I first got involved was when he ran for leader in 93, was it?
Yeah. I believe it was around 93. But if you go back to for the 80 election, the 80 election was Ralph decided to run for mayor. A newsman, knew exactly what was going on in City Hall, and decided he would want to do something. We talked on the first night of meeting, and then he wasn't sure. Then he said to me, "I got a burning in my gut to do it. I think I can do it for Calgarians." So we sat around and thought about it. It was 8 or 10 of us, and figured out what a campaign manager did. Passed the hat. We got $84, and we were off and running. He was laughed at, and we were laughed at, but it gathered momentum. And Ralph is a people guy, and everybody that came into contact with Ralph knew that he was going to take care of them in City Hall. And the way we went, 2 weeks before the election, we felt we had a man that could take Calgary to great games, and the rest is history.
Wow. I always appreciated learning from Ralph. Like, he was so good with the people, whereas I'm an analytical geek, so I can be good one-on-one, but I always appreciated that about him. He could take the pulse of everything, which I can analyze everything and I can get you the numbers, but he was that man of the people.
Well, that efficiency that you have is delicate and necessary, but what Ralph used to say is that figure out where the parade's going, get in front of it, lead it, and do what the people need and what the people want.
Mm-hmm.
And he spent his whole career, whether he was mayor, whether he was premier, he wanted to make sure that the people got what they needed and what they wanted.
Yeah. And you know what? I remember appreciating that about him, because I try and have that humility too, where you can't always have the right answer. And some politicians feel you must follow them. Whereas I know when I talk policy, people say, well, what is your policy? And I say, well, mine is to be the most efficient possible with your tax dollars, but actually I want to know what you guys want done with it. And then it's my job to do the best job of getting that done. So that's my little modification from Ralph Klein on that.
And Ralph infinitely knew that so quickly.
Yeah.
He infinitely could to watch people, read people, and get in front of that parade and go exactly where should we go. And his legacy gets better every day.
Yeah.
Every day it gets better.
No. Do you know what? That legacy is amazing. And I remember when I was a president of a constituency association for the PCs, you'd get to have that meeting before the annual AGMs, and Ralph would come along, and every year that passes I go, you know what? We didn't realize, we knew we had it good and we liked him and we called him King Ralph, but so far there's been no one to cross that Rubicon again. So
I used to have other politicians talk to me, and they said they could only wish they had the love and endurement that Ralph had. He's going to go on forever, and he had the love of whether he be premier or mayor. He had that. The people loved him, and he worked with them. Worked them very hard, very, very hard.
Yeah. No. Well, for those of you out there, We had it great, and it's time to step up. And do you know what? I'm not saying I'm a Ralph Klein. I'm a numbers geek that looks for the compassion and how to implement those numbers. But if every one of us just had part of the heart of a Ralph Klein, that actually would be the one thing that I think could be better. If we had like 1/10 of 1% of every Calgarian, that would be like 500 Ralph Kleins.